Hello class. I'd like to provide some additional guidance on the assignment 1 and the georeferencing assignment. Where we ended in class, you basically see the screen here, the ArcGIS Pro screen, and that should be about where you ended in class. You should have the Ponds geodatabase with 3 features in it, one labeled current, that you digitized from the ArcGIS base imagery, the 1950 ArcGIS map pond that you should have digitized after georeferencing the image, and then the 1950 GE pond, which is from Google Earth, right? So you georeferenced the image in Google Earth, you digitized it, and then you brought it over into ArcGIS, and then you copied that feature into this geodatabase, the Ponds geodatabase. All right, so you should have something like these 3 features, and I've made each one kind of hollow, so they have no color, but they have different boundaries, different edges to them, so that you can see through them and you can differentiate which one is which. You can choose potentially other ways in which to display them. I'm not showing the only way to do that. So I think the part that I wanted to share with you, and that I think may be the most challenging next step, is on your layout, is to create the 2 different maps that I ask. Okay, so in order to do that, hopefully you can follow along on the screen as I do a few of these steps. I'm not going to show every single step to make the finished product. You should have been able to get some of that from the initial ArcGIS Pro tutorial that we did, and by playing around on the Layouts tab, or by looking at some additional help. But I just wanted to highlight this one particular step that I think would be otherwise problematic. All right, and that is this creation of the 2 different maps on the same layout. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we need to make a second map frame. All right, so we've got one map frame. We want to make a second one that has the same data in it. So we can go up to the project, insert, and we're going to say new map. And it's going to open up a new map, and now you can see yours will say map 1. All right, back in the original map, we can copy and paste over this content, these data sets, the ponds and the 1950 Catawba JPEG. So I can copy and paste. Right, and you can see that it's been brought over. To make it similar to the other map frame, I'm going to go back to this map and change the base map so that it's imagery just the same as the other one. All right, so now we have 2 map frames that are basically identical. At this point, we're going to add a layout, and we'll bring in these map frames. So we'll click Insert. We'll click on New Layout. I'm going to do a landscape one, but you can, like I said, you can do which one you prefer, you think best. I'm going to add some guides to make it look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to click on these kind of ruler things up here. Right click. I'm going to do Add Guides. I'm going to go to Both. And then placement, I can do offset from edge, which is nice. Okay, offset from edge. And then I get to choose that distance. I'm going to choose just a 1/4 of an inch. Click OK. All right, and you see those guides show up. I'm also going to do a guide in the middle to offset, to snap my maps to. I'm going to do one at 5, do one at 6, right click, add guide. And then I'm going to do one off down here that's at about 2 inches or so. All right. So at this point now, my kind of layout is kind of prepared, and I'm going to bring in or insert these map frames into the layout. All right, and so under the Insert tab, you can do Map Frame. I'm going to click that little arrow, the drop down, and you're going to see options. You should see Map and Map 1. As I said, mine is Map and Map 2. So I can click on the extent that you see, and then you select that, and I'm going to go about here, click and drag, and I'll create the new map. So that inserts the map frame from this first map. Now I want to do it the second one and bring it in over here. So I can go to Map Frame, go to my Map 2, click on that. All right, and you can see how it kind of gets snapped or aligned there. Okay, now if I go back to layout, let's say I want to zoom in a little bit on these. I can actually zoom in without having to activate the map frame, which is nice. So I'm going to click the zoom in, and that'll bring me a little bit closer, which I want to do. And then you see it's zooming in the map frame that's activated, this map 2 here. If I click map frame, now this is going to be activated, and so I can zoom in there. If I want to move around inside of it, I need to kind of do the activate. And then it activates that, and then I can actually scroll around on the inside. Okay? But when you're done moving it, you have to close activation. So you can either then click here, back to the layout, or you can go back to the project. But this is the easiest way, I think. Click back layout, and now the activation is over. All right? So at this point, you have the two map frames both showing the 3 different map outlines. Actually, this is still a little far zoomed out. I'd like to zoom in a little bit further so you can see the differences there a little bit better. Okay. And then I'm going to actually activate it. We can move that down so it's a little more centered. Okay, that's about fine. All right, so at this point then, we've got our 2 map frames, and you'll have to add in the additional material like the title, some text, scale bar, north arrow, etc. Okay, so the other kind of the 6 essential elements of the map. All right, but like I said, I wanted to highlight how to create these 2 map frames within a single layout, as I think that was the most problematic of the remaining steps. All right, I hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any additional questions. Thanks for your attention.